put together for us. And game number one is underway. TLO versus Galaxy.
Galaxy is, of course, a Korean Zerg spawning in the left bottom side of this map as the blue Zerg. Well, no, I'm doing that wrong. Galaxy is our pink Zerg spawning on the right top side of this map, while Bumblebee, which is in this case Liquid TLO, is our blue Zerg spawning in the left bottom side of this map, using the account of the team manager of Team Liquid. We mentioned him before. Big shout out to Bumblebee, does an excellent job managing the guys around, and as far as I know, everybody always loves him. He used to manage for Mouse, I'm not sure if you were aware of that, and then made the switch. He's kind of like making a career out of managing teams, man. But he's already at the top now.
Number one team manager in the foreign scene, perhaps, Kev?
Yeah, I think we should fly him out to events to host other teams too. In case
I really think Bumblebee does a great job. I talk to him fairly regularly, and
yeah, he's always very cooperative. If you need something of the players and stuff, you can contact him, and he's always there to help you. And from what I've heard, the Team Liquid guys are also very promising about him. Always say nice words. So he must be doing a good job, Ben. You don't get all these people talking nice about you if you don't do a good job. You never say a good word about me. I still think I do a good job.
Roddy, I say good things about you all the time, bro. You should see the letter that I wrote for you.
You did write a letter for me?
I did.
Okay. Did you spray perfume on it?
I did not put any perfume on your letter.
Disappointing. Any rose leaves?
No rose leaves on your letter either. But for those of you guys wondering what the hell I'm talking about, Kevin is in the process of securing his American visa so that he can continue to work here at the North American Star League and bring you guys tons of great StarCraft. One of the things that you have to do when acquiring a work visa is prove that you are necessary to your place of employment. So I wrote a painstaking two-page letter talking about how Kevin is one of the premier StarCraft commentators in the world, how we would not be able to operate without his hard work and his dedication, and how his being here not only makes the North American Star League a better company, but it brings capital into the United States.
I just know that while you were writing that, at least 6 times you were about to quit, and you're like, am I actually writing this? Am I actually writing this? No, you know what? I don't need him. I was like, okay, I'll go on. No, I can't do this anymore. Ain't that right, Ben?
Not at all, Kevin. No. I wrote it with a smile on my face and happy feelings in my heart.
Well, let's hope let's hope your efforts won't go up in vain, man. Taking a look at the openings, we see Galaxy's already mining gas. The same can be said, of course, for TLO on the other side of the map. So far, Ben, everything is pretty standard. As even though, man, I'm really confused by the whole Bumblebee thing. TLO is getting his 2 queens a little bit quicker.
Yeah, pretty normal openings here. Galaxy's going to continue to mine gas past this first 100. This is probably just for some banelings. TLO is doing the exact same thing, so very, very similar openings at this point in the game. And
I mean, we spoke a lot about ZVZ on this map, and there are some people who still like to switch it up and like to go Muda on this map, or just like to try to make something happen with a lot of links and banelings. For instance, Targa is one of those guys. But let's say 9 out of 10 pro Zergs these days, Ben, they go for a couple of roaches, try to make the minimum amount of roaches yet to feel safe, and even at least make your opponent worry that you could potentially hit a timing attack. Of course, after the Baneling phase, 9 out of 10 times you will see Banelings as opening, but it's all transitioning into that Roach Hydra mix that is eventually so strong on this map.
That's exactly right, Kevin, and we do see these players continuing to mirror each other's builds. The thing that we have to look for right now is, will we see a big swell of Zerglings around 40 supply? Will we see one of these players say, all right, I'm going to try to get really, really aggressive and see if I can make something happen?
For people who wonder, sorry, Ben, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, at this point, I don't think it's very likely that we'll see that from TLO, as he's just now starting his ling speed, but Galaxy, we can see, does
just made a lot of
22 Zerglings into the production tab, so he's going to take a shot at this. He's got a couple of goals here. One is to deny or delay the 3rd expansion, and 2 is to look for an opportunity to do actual damage to the economy of TLO.
TLO, of course, has vision on this ramp with this Overlord, so he knows about all these links that are making their way over across the map. Still more links are in production. Actually, just a couple of banelings are morphing right now, but slowly but steady, Ben, he's going back to droning, so he's not going to try to straight up win the game over here.
Yeah, Blings are going to make some pokes here at the front, but TLO is
really nice wall.
Pretty nice wall off. got Queens behind, and these Lings are going to try to break in. There's only energy for a single transfusion here, Kevin, so this is still a really scary moment. TLO is
Banelings
frantically trying to morph some Banelings of his own. One Queen looks like she's certainly going to fall, and here comes Galaxy. Can he do any real damage up in the main base? Three Banelings,
man.
Along with quite a few Zerglings. One nice detonation there, and Galaxy doing some real damage.
Yeah,
but not that
sure.
much.
No, I'm not sure if this is enough. I think this is about to even up things. Of course, TLO is going to lose quite a bit of mining time over here, but he has a really good wall. He has a couple of Banelings on his own, and Galaxy was droning up behind this, so he's just trying to kill as many drones as possible. Might pick off one or two more over here, but that's about it.
He does get one more for a grand total of 3 drones killed. If we look at the income tab, it's more or less equal footing here for these two guys. 39 drones for TLO, 38 drones for Galaxy, so very close. We do see Layer already morphing for Galaxy, though.
During all this aggression, wow, Galaxy actually still has 2 Lings alive in the main base right now of TLO. Just trying to buy himself as much time as possible and just trying to keep TLO as busy as possible. While he went for a really aggressive Layer. Right after all those Lings, he went back to droning and he immediately upgraded to Layer. And it's starting to look more and more like Mutalisk play, Ben, as we see he's mining off 4 extractors.
It is looking a lot like Mutalisk play at this point, Kevin. He's got no additional tech. There is an Evo chamber down, and he is researching +1, so he could still just stick with some Infesterling, and he even throws down the Roach Warren, so might even see standard Roach play.
But why is he researching melee upgrades when he's dropping the Roach Warren?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I don't have a good answer for you. Unless his plan is to just get the Roach Warren in case of a Roach timing, while he continues committing to Zergling tech and eventually working up towards Ultras.
He's getting a second evolution chamber now as well. TLO on the other end, Ben, has been on double Evo for quite a while, so he should get a nice upgrade advantage eventually. Infestation Pit is going down for Galaxy now as well, Ben, so no Mutalisk. I read that wrong. Kind of curious though that he is getting that +1 for those Zerglings and Banelings.
And even adding in Roach speed, so I guess he just wants Roach Sling, Kevin. I mean, the Roach Sling is still pretty strong,
but if you want to add a lot of Lings and Banelings, wouldn't it have been smarter to perhaps get the armor upgrade for the Lings so they can survive the Baneling detonations?
That's a good point. There's certainly a really good argument for that. I'm just eager to see how Galaxy chooses to play this out. What is he going to do with these upgrades? We do see him also getting Roach attack upgrades, so I guess...
TLO is just morphing 2 Banelings, well 6 Banelings pass by. He has pretty good vision of this. He's going to try to blow up as many. That was 2 for 2, so very even trade.
Yeah, it was a completely even trade. Oh, nice little detonation. There's a lot of Zerglings do blow up on one of TLO's Banelings that...
I have no idea what's happening.
Managed to stay kind of hidden. These Banelings look pretty similar, don't they? Pink and blue. Surprisingly.
There are still a couple of Banelings alive over here for Galaxy, but TLO should have more than enough to be able to deal with this. I hope he's not going to let all 4 Lings blow up immediately. Well, for 2 Banelings, I guess that's still a decent trade there. Oh, wow, look at all the drones. Well, actually, a lot of drones go very low on HP.
Yep, but without +2, they will not die in a single shot.
Wow, during all this, Ben, TLO has been droning up like a madman. He has a 20 drone advantage, or, well, 18. Almost a 20 drone advantage over Galaxy right now, and by the looks of it, Galaxy is not going to be aggressive in the near future. So far, TLO really picked his moments well to squeeze in all those drones, and it looked like he's going to be able to get away with this unpunished.
At this point, he's pretty safe, Kevin. We do see Galaxy making his way across the map with some Roaches, but TLO is producing a lot of Roaches and some Infestors of his own, so it's going to be tough for Galaxy to really make something happen. TLO is ahead in drones, and his third base was down so much faster. As we see the two players did have a little pause there. This is a replay, guys.
Well, there is a moment here which Galaxy potentially could deal some damage as he had a nice road advantage, but so many Roaches are on the way, and as you mentioned as well, those Infestors are about to pop. +2 is on the way for TLO as well, Ben. So, by the looks of it, I'm really starting to dig TLO's position over here. He still has a pretty big worker advantage, even though it went down to 6 right now. He has a big Roach advantage, and he's just going to be able to hit a timing that that Galaxy can't hit anymore, since Galaxy sort of missed his window. I do not advise him to be aggressive right now with Roach only. And the counter-attack, that's where it starts to get really scary.
It's a great position for TLO to be in. He's up 30 supplies, going to max out ahead of his opponent. Galaxy is really just now starting to recover economically. It's now 66 drones to 68 drones, with TLO slightly ahead.
He's going to have a full 2-minute window, Ben, to hit, while he has +2 on the Roaches, and Galaxy won't have it.
And that is obviously extremely massive. Attack upgrades scale so well on Roaches, getting +2 damage to each one attack upgrade. That means that Galaxy's roaches will be dealing 18 damage to the 20 damage of TLO's roaches. That is a massive difference.
One roach will fall over here for Galaxy, the roach that was guarding the Selnaga watchtower. Galaxy is going to retreat right now with his roaches. Layer is on the, a hive tech on the way right now for TLO, while the Hydralisk then is going down for Galaxy, so it's going to be a little bit different.
Yeah, at this point I feel like the only reason TLO is going to be getting this hive is for the upgrades, as he hasn't added any additional tech structures and
doesn't have ultra upgrades either.
Yeah, his upgrades don't really play nice with Ultralisks. Hydrogen finishing up now. TLO will be able to kind of build that ultimate Daybreak Zerg army. But Galaxy's doing a pretty good job of slowly and steadily just building and building and building. Like, it's often been said that the guy who attacks first in ZVZ loses, and that's because of the real strength that infestors give the defending player.
TLO! Ben? Small roach run by over here as well. Now, nice dodge over there on the fungal. Just one roach gets fungals. A lot of roaches by TLO making its way over to the fort. We have a couple of roaches active for Galaxy as well. On the left top side of the map, these are pretty great fungals by Dario.
Fantastic fungals. He's going to kill a lot of infestors there for free, and while Galaxy does have enough roaches to stop any additional aggression, there's units all over the place, man. TLO has roaches in the main base, roaches in the natural, and Galaxy's got to scramble here to really deal with it nicely.
A little bit sad that he starts attacking the extractor over here, because I think he could have easily taken out the infestation pit. He's still killing a lot of drones though. That's of course worth something as well, and he's dealing pretty good with the roaches of Galaxy on the other side of the map.
Yeah, TLO's done a great job of dealing with all of this, and if we look at the Workers Lost tab, we can see that this punch has had him kill a grand total of 24 drones, which is just fantastic. It gives him a 14 worker lead here in the later stages of this ZVZ. He's still more or less maxed, Kevin, and Galaxy's struggling to really get back to that point.
And most importantly, Ben, the infestor count right now is 8 against 1. TLO over here with only 3 infestors managed to fungal 6 infestors, and I think kill 5 of them and just deal a lot of damage with a couple of additional roaches as well. And that allowed him to get those roaches in the main base. Overall, just very, very good moves by TLO all across the map.
First couple of Hydras have already entered the fray for Galaxy. They do add tremendous depth to your fighting strength because they do so much damage so very, very quickly.
TLO's a little bit passive, and I don't think that he knows of what grade of a shape he really is in. He had better upgrades for quite a while. He is getting +3 right now, as you mentioned. The hive was pretty much for the upgrades. He had a big infestor advantage, will still have it, but it's going to be close. It's 10 against 6 right now, but he is maxed out, and Galaxy is not.
He is starting to move once again, and Galaxy has to be at least somewhat aware of this large force making its way around the bottom half of the map. TLO trying to keep his units sectioned off a little bit so that he doesn't just lose tons and tons of roaches to single fungals. And where is this big fight going to take shape? It looks like it's
that's not a beautiful position for TLO.
Bases. And TLO might be able to catch a big fungal right here, and there are some excellent fungals going down from TLO. Galaxy has a pretty good concave though,
yeah.
and he does have Hydras in the army.
Exactly, that's kind of what I'm thinking about right now, but it still seems like at least if TLO is able to keep his infestors alive, I guess it's okay. I guess he's trading decent over here. It's actually more than decent. He's still going to win this fight. Wow, definitely didn't see that one coming.
Just sheer strength in numbers, Kev. He had so many more units than Galaxy did, and in spite of the fact that Galaxy had better upgrades, in spite of the fact that maybe his army composition was a little bit better, TLO had slightly better fungals and massively advantageous numbers. And while Galaxy does eventually kind of clean this up and more or less reach a point of stability, if we look back on TLO's side of the map, we see a lot of infestors, a lot of roaches, and now Hydra's also starting to enter that production tab.
TLO did a great job there, not overcommitting. He retreated on time with most of his infestors, and pretty much all of them got out of there alive. He could have potentially dealt a little bit more damage if he would have used all the energy and spawned infested Terrans, but he didn't want to risk losing all those infestors to a big swarm of roaches. Of course, he didn't know how many roaches were in production for Galaxy, and the reinforcements distance would have been very short. So I think it was a great call by TLO, backed off on the right moment, and slowly but steady, man, he's doing what you always said about StarCraft 2. All those minor advantages.
They are adding up to a very, very significant lead here in the late stages of the game. We've got a max out TLO. He's got his +3 attack completed. He's got +2 armor. This is when he needs to get moving, Kev, as Galaxy still hasn't even started his hive. There's no chance of Galaxy catching up in upgrades right now. This is the best time in the world for TLO to attack, and now we do see him starting to mobilize.
Everything is better for TLO. His armor composition is better. He has more infestors. He has better upgrades, and he's maxed out. As you said, there's just no better moment to force the issue than right now.
And he is going to force it by heading down to this bottom right expansion at the same time. We do have a little bit of a hit squad up here in the natural. Roach is going to at least pull Galaxy out of position. Galaxy scrambling to deal with this. Meanwhile, TLO's main army is going to come and attack right over into this fourth expansion. TLO a little bit split up here, though. Galaxy doing a good job of concentrating his units on each prong of this attack. And that's going to allow him to trade pretty effectively here, but Dario's numbers, Dario's upgrades, they're so much better than what Galaxy has.
Galaxy still has a lot of units over here though on the south side, and he might be able to save this hatchery. If he does, that would be a fantastic hold. But great fungals by TLO, buying himself the time that he needs to take out this hatchery, and I guess that is all that matters for now. Oh, infestors.
TLO even finding the time to burrow some infestors and send them up into the main base. The rest of his infestors look like they're going to be run down. Only one of them is going to make it away. That's a little bit unfortunate for TLO. These guys are at even supplies right now. 175 supply to 177 supply with pretty much even worker counts.
Those attacks were not perfectly synchronized as one army arrived a little bit quicker.
Just a little bit sloppy, just a little bit mixed up. But I got to tell you, Kevin, TLO's position is still fantastic. He's still got this burrowed infestor in the back of Galaxy's natural. He's dropped an infested Terran up in the back of the main base, so Galaxy's still having to scramble just to deal with all the harass from TLO. And we've got another maxed out Zerg army here. So once again, +3 attack, +3 armor is going to be done now as well. And the next attack that TLO makes, I have to feel like it's going to be an almost impossible defense for Galaxy.
That's how I felt 3 times in this game already, though, and so far Galaxy keeps making it happen. But that was very well done, and I had a good point before you said something, and I forgot about it, man. First world problems with a caster. Oh, nice play over here by TLO as well, using those burrowed circlings. Yeah, what I want to say, I just want to compliment Dario on playing a very active ZVZ style on Daybreak. Probably the hardest map to make stuff happen. He still makes stuff happen with small run-bys here and there, and just make a lot of small fights happen, while we both know how this map plays out most of the time. So big compliments for Dario.
He is once more going to try to make a little multi-pronged poke. And again, it's not a terrible idea, as he's got some great fungals going down on the roaches and the hydras of Galaxy. And man, if the last fights were close, this one is an absolute rout. TLO just crushing Galaxy here. Going up 170 supply against 150. Still, he's going to back up and regroup one more time before he goes to deliver that killing blow. Galaxy showing some real scrappiness here, Kevin, but I don't know what he can really do when he's this far behind in upgrades.
I don't think there's really all that much he can do. TLO with his 3-3 upgrades ban and his higher infestor count really turned tides of that battle. Galaxy made a couple of fantastic holds, but this time it was too much. He's still in it though, as he's still producing units. He's still on 4 bases, even though he lost a lot of drones throughout this entire game. If he would have been able to secure this base over here on the right bottom side of the map, then everything would have been different, but that's not the case.
TLO's going to complicate things a little bit further by adding some Zerglings to the mix. He's going to try and run past, pulls Galaxy out of position. At the same time, he's going to attack with the main Roach Hydra Infestor force down here into this 4th base. The Lings do come back and make a run by up into the main base, and Galaxy incredibly spread out. There's virtually no chance of a successful defense here, as TLO is looking absolutely fantastic. Infested Terrans being dropped, Roaches just crushing through everything, and I have to feel like that's going to be GG there, Kev.
TLO played a really fantastic ZVZ over here on Daybreak Ban, just so careful, never overextended, just always did the right thing, and perhaps sometimes he could have pushed it a little harder and win the game quicker, as Galaxy calls GG and TLO wins the first map. He just played it so safe yet aggressive and never overextended. Really... Yeah, how to explain it? What's a nice word to describe this game? What's a nice word? In Dutch there is a word where sometimes you would say zuinig, which basically means like greedy, but that's not the right translation for it, because it means more like that you play it super careful, you do the right things, yet never overextend. I think it was a really nice game by TLO.
TLO played very...
effective. in some degree.
That's a great word for it. It is actually a perfect word for it. TLO's play was extremely effective as he created advantages for himself and he just rode those advantages to victory. Very nicely done there by Dario. Goes up 1-0 in the series. That last game brought to you guys by Audible. Download and listen to a bestseller today by visiting nasl.tv/p/audible, where you can get your own special offer on your own special audiobook. Quick commercial break, then game number 2, TLO versus Galaxy, when we get back.